Most people think when a car starts feeling weak, the engine is going bad. Slower acceleration, delayed response, that heavy sluggish feeling when you press the gas. It feels like the car just doesn't have the same power anymore. And the first thought most people have is expensive repairs, or even worse, serious engine damage. But what if that's not actually the problem? What if your engine isn't weak? It's just struggling because of something small, something cheap, something almost nobody checks until it's too late. Today, I'm testing a simple 7 trick that claims to make a weak engine feel strong again. No mechanic, no expensive parts, no complicated tools. Just a quick fix that a lot of people overlook, and if this works, it could completely change how you look at engine problems, because this car right here feels weak, not completely dead, but definitely not right. When you press the gas, there's a delay. The response isn't sharp. It feels like the engine is holding back. And over time, that kind of performance drop can make you think something serious is going on under the hood. But instead of jumping straight to expensive repairs, I wanted to test something simple first. Because sometimes what feels like a big problem is actually something small that's been building up over time. Let's take a closer look. This is the engine bay. Everything looks normal at first glance. No major damage, no obvious issues. But the problem we're chasing today isn't something you can always see instantly. It builds slowly. And one of the most common causes of that weak, sluggish feeling is something most drivers never think about: airflow. Your engine needs clean, accurate airflow to perform properly. And there's a small component responsible for measuring that airflow. If it gets dirty, even slightly, your engine starts making bad decisions, less power, poor response, rough performance. And that's exactly what we're testing today. This small sensor right here plays a huge role in how your engine runs. Over time, it collects dust, oil residue, and microscopic debris from the air passing through it. And when that buildup starts interfering with its readings, your engine doesn't get the right information. So instead of running efficiently, it feels weak. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most people don't even know this part exists. And when their car starts losing power, they assume something expensive is wrong. They go to a shop, spend hundreds, sometimes replace parts they didn't even need. But what if cleaning this one component could actually improve how the engine feels? That's what we're about to find out. First, I'm carefully removing the sensor. You don't need anything complicated for this, just basic tools and a little patience. The key here is being gentle, because this part is sensitive. Now take a look at this. It might not look extremely dirty at first glance, but even a thin layer of buildup can affect how it reads airflow. And that's all it takes to throw off your engine's performance. This is exactly the kind of issue that builds slowly over time, until one day your car just doesn't feel the same anymore. Now I'm going to use a simple cleaner, nothing expensive, just something designed to safely clean this type of sensor. This is the 7 trick. No scrubbing, no touching the sensor directly. Just spraying it and letting the cleaner do its job. Because again, this isn't about forcing a result, it's about removing what shouldn't be there. As the cleaner hits the surface, it starts breaking down that invisible layer of residue, the stuff you normally wouldn't even notice, but your engine definitely does, and this is where most people go wrong. They either skip this completely, or they try to clean it the wrong way and damage the sensor. So if you ever do this, the most important thing is to let the cleaner work, and not physically touch the delicate parts. Now we let it dry. And while that happens, think about this. If your engine has been getting incorrect airflow data this whole time, it's been adjusting fuel, timing, and performance based on bad information. So even though nothing is broken, everything feels off. That's why this kind of fix is so interesting. Because it's not repairing damage, it's removing interference. Now that it's dry, I'm reinstalling it exactly the way it came out. Everything goes back in place. No changes, no upgrades, just the same part, cleaned. And now comes the real moment, because this is where most cheap tricks fall apart. They sound good, they look promising, but once you actually test them, nothing changes. So let's see. Starting the engine. Right away, it sounds smooth, no rough idle, no strange hesitation. That's a good sign. But sound alone doesn't mean much. What really matters is how it feels when driving. So let's take it out. Pressing the gas. That response feels sharper. Before, there was a delay, a hesitation. Now it feels more immediate, more connected. The engine isn't fighting itself anymore, and that sluggish feeling, it's noticeably reduced. Now, is this turning an old car into a race car? No, and that's important to understand. This is not magic. If your engine has serious internal issues, worn components, or mechanical damage, no 7 trick is going to fix that. But if the problem is buildup, if the issue is something interfering with normal operation, then something this simple can actually make a difference. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. The car feels more responsive, more awake, more like it should. And the crazy part is, nothing was replaced. No expensive parts, no mechanic visit, just a small, overlooked component cleaned properly. And that's why this matters. Because so many people jump straight to worst-case scenarios when their car starts acting differently. They assume the engine is failing, when sometimes it's just struggling because of something small, something fixable, something cheap. And once you see the difference, it changes how you approach problems like this. Instead of assuming the worst, you start looking for the simple explanation first. Because sometimes the engine isn't weak, it's just being held back. And removing that one small problem is all it takes to bring it back to life. So before you spend money chasing bigger issues, it might be worth checking the small things first. Because this right here cost less than a fast food meal. Took a few minutes and made a noticeable difference. So the real question is, would you try a cheap fix like this first or go straight to the mechanic?